So you've had your old brain bucket kicking around for a few years. Is it time to replace it? Well, we're gonna go into that. Unboxing of my new helmet and a few accessories for moto vlogging that are really pretty awesome. So stick around. So welcome back, everybody. I'd like to say thank you to my old subscribers and my new subscribers. This little channel is slowly growing. So is it time to replace your helmet? Well, most manufacturers, they pretty much all come to the consensus that a helmet's pretty good for about 5 years. Now, that's gonna depend on how you treat it. I mean, if you're taking it, pulling off your head and tossing it around and it's getting banged around everywhere, well, of course it's not gonna last. It's like anything else. As long as you take care of it, you're gonna get some longevity out of it. Now, I've had my Shoei here, it's RF 1200. I've had this for, I don't know, probably coming up close to 10 years. It's probably about 7 years old. Even though the helmet looks in great shape, on the last trip I took, it was like 2,200 miles in 2.5 days. By the time I got up to the tail of the Dragon from Florida, the padding on the inside, the interior padding, just the comfort padding, just started deteriorating. I mean, it was just literally just falling apart in chunks, and every time I take the helmet out, more packing would come out and all that stuff. And it really made the trip uncomfortable on the way back home. While I was up there for short distances, it wasn't bad. But when you're rolling, you know, hours and hours and hours upon end, it was really started wearing into my head, giving me migraines. I literally had to take my cleaning cloths and stick them in the helmet just to get myself some padding so it wouldn't irritate my head so bad. Now, I could probably send it back to Shoei, have it inspected, get some new pads put in it, and it'd probably be fine. But when you send it back to the manufacturer, chances are gonna say that it's, oh no, you need to replace it, and then, you know, they keep your helmet and whatever they do with it at that point, you probably never get it back. It's a shelf piece now. You know, a memory of days past, you know, goes with the rest of my other helmet collection. So I guess the bottom line is, you know, take a look at your helmet and just ask yourself, you know, I should probably get a new one, or am I gonna get by with this? I guess it's just more of a judgment call. For me, it's time to get a new one. I said, this helmet's lived a good life, served me well, and you know, it's time to retire it. Time to move into something new. So let's get into that now. So as you can see, I got 2 boxes here with helmets in it. They're both Shark Evo 1-2 slasher helmets. One from Amazon and the other from eBay. Now, I've already opened up this one here and tried it out. I went by their helmet sizing guide and did what they said, but it ended up being quite a bit small, painfully small actually. I looked around, I couldn't find another one on Amazon or any other place in my size. They were all sold out. I got left with eBay. Now, you know, pictures worth 1,000 words. Amazon shipping, eBay shipping. We're gonna unbox the one I just got off eBay. First of all, just inspect, see if it's damaged. I mean, this thing came shipped just like this. No extra box, no extra packing, nothing like that. Just the helmet box and away we go. So I'm hoping that nothing's damaged. And if there is, well, I mean, there ain't gonna be a whole lot I can do about it other than try and get a refund from eBay. Let's open this thing up, see what's inside. I mean, I'm still gonna be relatively gentle with it. Be careful. I probably should be a little bit extra careful seeing how it's damaged and not to cause anything else. I could rip it open like a 10-year-old with a Christmas present if I wanted to and just make a total mess. But that's probably not the best thing. Most importantly, we got the helmet in the bag. We got our warranty registration paperwork. Looks like a decal in there or something. And we got our Pinlock. These things are great. If you've never used a Pinlock before, this is probably one of the best inventions they've ever come out for a helmet as far as visibility and stuff. It gives you a great fog resistance. They work well. I got one on my Shoei and I've never had an issue, and it's really awesome. All right, so let's take this out of the bag and inspect it, see if there's any damage. Hopefully I'll get lucky. At first glance, you know what? It looks all right. I don't see any scratches on it. I think this has been a used one because The protective shielding that's on this has been removed. Unlike the other one where it still has it on it. You can see some, you can see some stuff here on it. So it's not ideal. So this technically isn't a new helmet. It's been opened up and used. So that's one thing that I'm not too happy about. But whatever, it is what it is. I can't do nothing about it. That's eBay shopping for you. Now this is how it should have looked unboxed, with the protective shield on the visor and all that stuff. So next thing you do is try it on, make sure it fits. That's definitely a much better fit. I mean, you're gonna want your helmet tight to your cheek pads. You don't want it flopping around, but that one was literally painfully hard on the head. Keep that in mind when you're ordering a shark, that their size chart is just slightly off. I mean, unless it falls within that range, well within the range of what they say. Me, I'm right on the borderline of sizes. So for me, I just went up one size more, and this is definitely a much more comfortable helmet. So it's getting hot here in the shop. I mean, it is Southwest Florida in the middle of summer, so it's getting really humid and hot, and just uncomfortable to film. So before you install your Pinlock, there's a couple things you want to do. First thing you can do is remove your visor. So what you want to do is you want to push in on this little tab here. And it pops right out. And you may want to lay it on the side. Make it a little bit easier for you to get that off. And there you go, your visor's off. Now before installing, you want to make sure your visor is very clean. So take like a lens cleaning cloth, or you can just use your helmet bag because it's made out of the same material. And just make sure you wipe the inside of the visor clean. You don't want any fingerprints or anything in there, because once you get the Pinlock in there, it's going to obstruct your vision, and then trying to take it off and put it back on is really a pain. Now something you might want to think about when doing this is keeping the temperature the same. So don't like have your helmet sitting out in the shop and then bring your Pinlock in from a nice cool indoor AC place like it is here, because it's 70 something degrees in my house and it's almost 100 degrees in the shop. So once you install this, you could have a little bit of fogging just due to condensation being trapped in between the two pieces of plastic. And you probably want to do it where somewhere cool anyways, because you don't want to drip sweat onto your lens, and then then you got to do this whole process again, and for some reason it never seems to be quite the same. So if you look at it, it's not really that clear. It's because it's got a safety film on it, but one side has a little rubber gasket. It's real hard to see. Got a little gasket there that runs all the way around it. So that's the side you want facing your shield. So make sure you put it on the proper way. Just size it properly. Now, the best way that I found to do this is to put in one side first. Just kind of get it in its spot as best you can. And like I said, it'll lock more or less. That's why they call it a Pinlock. And then once you got that one side, you just kind of put your forearm down and flatten out your visor as best you can, and then catch that pin and then let it pop into place. You got your Pinlock installed. Now just go into the top corner, somewhere it's inconspicuous, and just peel off your protective film. Crystal clear. So what that's going to do is going to create a little gap in between, put a little air pocket in there, and it's going to prevent your lens from fogging. Now the last thing you do is just reinstall your visor. So this is easy on this one here, the Shark. Just slides into the slot and it clicks into place. And then you do the same on the other side. And that's it, buddy. You're all done. Pinlock installed. Now the cool thing I like about this helmet is it looks like a full face helmet. You know, I look at it from side to side. You know, it's got some halfway decent graphics on it, but it's not a full face helmet. It's actually a modular helmet. So if you're not familiar with a modular helmet, basically it's just what it is. It's a helmet that flips up and becomes a 3/4. So that way you got full face protection. Seems to lock in there pretty good. You know, and then you got your visor that closes. And the other cool feature is too, is it's got a built-in sunshade. So if you don't have your sunglasses, or it's extra bright and you do have sunglasses, it gives you a little bit more tint, just in case. Everything's pretty easy to get to by hand. There may be certain ways you can do this and not do this, but apparently everything seems to work pretty good. So you can ride down with your visor down, the sunshade on. There's multiple configurations that you can do with this helmet. And like I said, it looks pretty stylish. Now, as far as locking in place, you know, like I said, the lock seems to be okay. I'm not sure how these are gonna hold up. I mean, honestly, I prefer a full face helmet. But taking long trips, I've noticed that it pretty much sucks if you want to take a drink or something like that. You have to pull over, take your helmet off, and so on and so forth. With this, you can just flip it up one hand, open up your bottle, have a drink, and you can keep on trucking without pulling over. So for me, that's a big plus. Yeah, it is kind of goofy looking, I mean, honestly, but most other modular helmets, when they only open up, you know, like 90 degrees. This one flips back all the way 180, and it kind of blends in with the helmet itself, so it doesn't look, you know, completely stupid. I mean, it's a pretty dumb looking helmet when it's 3/4 like this, but what have you. It's a convenience when you're out on the road. Now, one of the moto vlogging accessories I like to use, and this has been a great company, I'm really firm believer in their products, is this GoPro Mount from Chin Mounts. It's a small company. I don't know how well it is known, how well they're known. I've used that on my chin mount, on my Shoei when I first started doing moto vlogging, as opposed to using the, you know, the GoPro mount itself. I mean, you can put it on top there, but this gives you a little bit more straight on shots, like you would if you was just, you know, looking through your eyes. And also, you can kind of see a little bit of your camera, so you can tell if it's on or off. And, you know, when it's on top of your head, you really can't tell, and you can end up missing a lot of footage. And this here is just my mic mount for my GoPro. And what I've done is this little Velcro, and I just stuck it underneath there. And, you know, and that's what the mount looks like on my Shoei. So what comes in the package, just gonna open it up, you know, Christmas style. Nothing fancy here, it's just a Ziploc bag. Is you get your mount, which is pretty simple on this one. And they also give you a little alcohol prep pad so you can clean the surface prior. And a tether to attach your GoPro to. And this comes with a little 3M sticky on here so you can attach it to the side of your helmet, and then you just attach the tether to your GoPro, so that way if it does happen to pop off, you're not gonna lose your GoPro, or at least you stand a better chance of not losing your GoPro. And this is really easy too, just to put in. So you just take your loop, stick it through the hole like this, not a big deal. And then loop it inside itself. Just stick it through the hole. Well, it had a little hair on it. And what you want to do is you want to put it within a surface that's gonna reach your GoPro mount, you know, and attach it. Doesn't have to be real big. You just need a flat surface to do it. And you know, that's it. Make sure you leave yourself plenty of room here, so that way it's not too tight or, you know, too loose where it's just gonna snap. You just want to, you know, wherever's gonna work best for you. I mean, there's no real science to it. You just, you know, put it wherever it works. Now, they recommend that you warm up the surface, you know, once you prep it. In the initial prep, you're gonna just want to take a little alcohol swab that comes packaged with it, and you just want to wipe down the area where you're gonna attach the 3M strip. So it's just generally in this location. I'm just gonna clean the whole area. Just let it air dry. I mean, it should be fairly clean surface, but there may be some residue on there from when they mold it or when they paint it. So just clean your surface off properly. Now they recommend that you warm it up, but I'm in Southwest Florida and it's like 85 degrees in the shop. And you know, everything's all been acclimated to the same temperature. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, without warming it up, I'm gonna go ahead and peel the 3M strip off here best I can without messing up the actual adhesive itself, because if anybody's messed with this stuff, they know it can be kind of a pain. So the alcohol dries pretty quick, and you just want to make sure you get it level and even where you want it, centered up best you can, and just go ahead and just stick it on. And you can adjust it slightly at this stage just because the adhesive hasn't quite fully adhered. So I'm just gonna wait overnight, let that adhesive take good hold, and then we'll go ahead and hook up the GoPro and all that stuff, and we'll test it out. So instead of just hooking up the GoPro and taking you for a ride and you know showing you how it's set up, I mean, I figure it's kind of pointless really. My initial thoughts on the helmet is it's very well put together. It's lightweight. It's got some really good features on it. But I got a really big trip planned. Actually, I've already taken the trip. It's been a while, honestly. Where I did 3,600 miles. But when that video is done, I'll give you my full review on that Shark Evo 1-2 helmet. Like I said, out the gate, it seems to be great. But that remains to be seen. So, appreciate you watching. Be safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time.